Most people imagine financial freedom as a finish line not too far away, a place where money stops being a worry and life feels easy. But the truth is, getting there often takes way longer than you expect. That early optimism can give way to frustration when progress feels slow or setbacks pop up, making the dream seem almost out of reach. By the way, this channel posts one insight like this every day, so if this breakdown helps you, consider subscribing. Here at ClearPath Finance, we've helped thousands navigate the winding road to financial independence. Today, we're going to explore why building true financial freedom is a marathon, not a sprint, and what that means for anyone trying to take control of their money. One of the biggest reasons financial freedom takes longer than expected is simply how compounding really works in real life, not just in theory. We often hear the success stories where someone starts investing early and decades later, they're sitting on a fortune. But what's easy to overlook is that those decades are filled with fluctuations, missed opportunities, fees, and life events that chip away at growth. The early years especially can feel painfully slow because your investments are still small and returns don't seem to make much of a difference. It isn't until much later that you experience the snowball effect, where growth accelerates noticeably, but by then, patience and discipline have been key to getting that far. Take Sarah, for example. She began investing in her mid-20s, diligently putting away what she could each month into a retirement account. Yet a decade later, she was surprised to see only a modest increase in her net worth. It wasn't because she wasn't investing wisely. It was because she faced periods of market downturns, job changes, and unexpected expenses like medical bills and home repairs. These aren't exceptions. They are part of the reality for most people. Sarah's journey teaches us that financial freedom isn't about a linear climb. It's more like navigating through hills and valleys. Another factor slowing the path is lifestyle inflation. As income grows, it's tempting to increase spending proportionally. New cars, upgraded living spaces, frequent dining out. This can create an invisible brake on your progress. Even a small increase in monthly expenses can significantly delay the time it takes to reach your financial goals. Imagine if instead of raising your spending each time your paycheck grows, you held steady or increased your savings rate. Those extra dollars funnel directly into your investments, accelerating the compounding process. But it requires conscious effort to resist the natural pull of keeping up with the perceived lifestyle standards around you. Plus, unexpected life events invariably arise: job loss, family emergencies, economic recessions. These moments often force people to tap into savings or go into debt, effectively setting back years of progress. The challenge is that these setbacks usually don't come with a warning. The COVID-19 pandemic, for instance, blindsided millions, significantly impacting their earning power and savings. It exposed how fragile even seemingly secure financial plans could be and underscored the importance of building a buffer, a financial cushion that can help weather storms without derailing long-term goals. This leads us to another subtle truth. Financial freedom isn't just about the numbers on paper. It's deeply tied to mindset and habits. Long-term discipline, the ability to delay gratification, and resilience during setbacks matter immensely. It's easy to get discouraged when progress feels slow or invisible, but those small, consistent actions compound in their own way. Think of it like tending a garden. You plant seeds and nurture them with patience, even if you don't see flowers immediately. Over time, the blooms become undeniable. So when you hear the phrase financial freedom, remember it's not a magic switch you flip overnight. It's a complex blend of steady saving, wise investing, managing lifestyle choices, and adapting to life's unpredictable twists. Embracing this reality can free you from the frustration of feeling behind and empower you to appreciate the progress you are making, even when it feels slow. Financial freedom is less about quick wins and more about building resilience and trust in a process that unfolds over years, sometimes decades. And there's something profoundly human about this slow unfolding. It's a mirror of how we grow in many parts of life. Just as relationships deepen over time through shared experiences and patience, and skills develop through repeated practice and occasional failure, so too does financial freedom require us to cultivate patience and perseverance. Consider Michael and Lisa, a couple who embarked on their journey toward financial independence after their first child was born. They thought they could reach their goal in 10 years, but life's curveballs extended that timeline. Between career shifts, juggling childcare costs, and supporting aging parents, their financial plan had to adapt constantly. Yet each challenge also taught them resilience and creative problem solving, skills that became as valuable as the dollars in their accounts. They learned to celebrate small victories, like a year without debt or a raise in their emergency fund, recognizing these moments as milestones rather than waiting solely for the final destination. This perspective shift, from fixating on the end point to valuing the ongoing journey, can transform how we experience money. It invites us to see financial freedom not just as a destination, but as a practice of making intentional choices every day. It's about learning to find contentment and security in the progress made, however incremental, while maintaining the hopeful patience to keep moving forward. Moreover, this longer timeline offers another gift, the opportunity to build a richer, more meaningful relationship with money. It encourages thoughtful reflection on what money truly supports in our lives: security, freedom to explore passions, time with loved ones, rather than viewing it as an end in itself. When financial freedom is framed this way, the journey becomes less of a grind and more of a pathway to living in alignment with our values. So, if you're feeling weary or impatient with your progress, know that you are part of a vast, often untold story. A story of persistence, adaptation, and quiet growth. Financial freedom doesn't always look like the sweeping victories we see in headlines or social media posts. Instead, it often looks like everyday commitment, invisible efforts, and a steadfast belief that your future self will thank you. In the end, the slow passage of time can be a profound ally. It teaches us that building a life of financial freedom isn't just about money. It's about learning to trust a process, to embrace uncertainty, and to find peace in the steady unfolding of a well-tended life. And perhaps, in that gentle unfolding, we discover a freedom even greater than financial security itself. It's worth remembering that while the journey to financial freedom may stretch longer than we initially imagine, every step taken builds more than just wealth. It builds character, resilience, and wisdom. Those quiet years of consistent saving and careful choices aren't merely preparing your bank account. They're shaping the way you approach challenges and opportunities, teaching you how to navigate uncertainty with grace. Look back at stories like Sarah's or Michael and Lisa's, and you'll see a common thread. Their progress wasn't just measured in numbers, but in growth, the kind that lasts long after dollars and cents have settled into place. It's the patience learned during stagnant markets, the flexibility developed through unexpected life changes, and the gratitude fostered by small wins that often go unseen by others. This long, sometimes winding path to financial freedom also reflects something deeper about life itself. Just as the strongest trees take decades to mature, standing firm through seasons of hardship and plenty, so too does financial independence require time to root and grow. It's not an instant transformation, but a gradual blossoming that unfolds with steady care. And maybe this is where the truest freedom lies, not in reaching a final sum, but in letting go of the need for speed or perfection, and instead embracing the slow, meaningful process of creating a life shaped by intention and patience. When we shift our perspective from chasing a distant finish line to appreciating the journey itself, the weight of waiting lessens, and a quiet confidence takes its place. In the end, financial freedom is as much about nurturing yourself through the process as it is about the destination. It invites us to live fully in each chapter, to respect the time it takes, and to find peace in the rhythm of gradual progress. And that, in its own subtle way, is a freedom far richer and more enduring than any balance sheet could ever show. As the years add up, the habits and lessons we gather along the way become a kind of quiet wealth. Maybe you learn to distinguish needs from wants more clearly, or discover the satisfaction that comes from living simply rather than spending lavishly. Maybe you develop the confidence to make money decisions based not on fear or impulse, but on values and long-term vision. These shifts in perspective don't happen overnight, but they accumulate slowly, just like the financial gains in your portfolio. It's also important to recognize that financial freedom isn't necessarily a fixed point where all worries vanish. Life will continue to bring changes, new goals, unexpected expenses, shifts in priorities. Freedom then becomes a dynamic state, a readiness to adapt, and a calmness in knowing that you have the resources and mindset to handle what comes. Think of it like learning to sail. The destination may be clear, but the journey depends heavily on reading the wind, adjusting your sails, and sometimes changing course entirely. The longer you're out on the water, the more skilled and patient you become. No matter how long it takes to reach the shore, there is value in every moment spent gaining experience and honing your craft. So if you ever find yourself wondering why financial freedom feels so elusive, or why the timeline keeps stretching, remember that this is part of a larger, richer story. It's a story not just of dollars and cents, but of growth, resilience, and transformation. And in embracing that story, you open yourself to a deeper appreciation for the journey itself. Perhaps the greatest freedom comes not from rushing to arrive, but from learning to be present with the slow unfolding of your own story. Knowing that every small step forward is a seed planted for a future full of possibility. And in that patient waiting, in that steady moving forward, you may find a peace more profound than any financial goal alone could ever provide.